coronavirus. Dun dun dun! What's up, you guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Benson and I'm currently living in Sichuan, China right now with the whole coronavirus thing going on, and figured I'd start doing some vlogs about this because this is pretty crazy here in China. Alright, so as most of you guys might know by now, actually the whole world knows, there's a new virus going around town and it's called the coronavirus, and it came from China, specifically Wuhan, China. And I figured I'd start this series of vlogs with first just letting you guys know what I know based off of the information I've gathered living in China about this virus. So it originated in the fish market in Wuhan, China, and from what I understand, scientists are believing that it came from bats or the consumption of bats. And here's my take on this. So bats are known to be carriers of many different viruses and disease, and I don't know why people eat them. The crazy thing is that even though bats are known to carry a whole bunch of different viruses and diseases, people are still eating them. Why? There's so many different things you can eat other than bats, like chicken, beef, cows, pigs, fish, all that stuff. Why bats? So my take on this is that they're eating bats in China for two main reasons. One is that there is a belief that it's gonna help men increase their stamina and sexual performance. And the other reason is probably because of the belief that through traditional Chinese medicine or whatever it may be, it brings good health to you. And as we all see right now, eating bats will bring you amazing health benefits, right? So what I think happened in this fish market is that there was maybe a vendor or two that was selling bat meat. And the thing with these fish markets in China, if you guys have never been to China before, let me be the first to tell you that these markets are not the cleanest or most sanitary places to be. Even though that they sell food like meat, fish, or whatever for human consumption, these places are they're really not clean. Generally speaking, no one washes their hands after handling raw meat or raw products, and there's a lot of cash exchange, hand to hand. We all know how dirty currency is. Currency is probably one of the most dirtiest things that you can come across. So what happens is people hand you cash, you hand them change, and then the vendor would touch the meat and then touch the money and then hand it to you, or vice versa. And then people don't really pay attention to being clean, really, or sanitary. So what probably happened was there was a vendor in this market that was selling bat meat. Someone else was probably buying it, or maybe he was preparing it to be packaged, to be put on display or whatever it might be. And what I might guess happened is he was probably butchering the bat or bats, got some blood on his hands. Maybe he washed his hands, rinsed his hands off really quick, didn't use hot water or soap. Usually these places, they don't have any soap or hot water, so you can forget about that. And then either had lunch later on and forgot that he didn't wash his hands, or maybe he rubbed his eyes, and bam! The virus is in your system. What I don't understand is like SARS, which happened in the early 2000s. It was a huge thing, right? It came from China. You would think that people would learn their lesson and maybe be more cautious or be more aware of clean and healthy food handling techniques, and maybe like not eating wild game meat that you don't know what it's come in contact with. So yeah, it's crazy. So I was made aware of the coronavirus being spread about early to mid-January, and back then I remember reading this article online basically saying that there's a new virus going around in Wuhan. Doctors don't expect it to be contagious. So far it's new, it's unknown, there's no known cure or treatment for it yet. So they were just advising everyone to wash their hands before, during, and after prepping food as a safety precaution, nothing much else. And I remember right when I was reading this, there was around 80 people that were infected, okay? 80 people infected, that's quite a lot. And I remember when I was reading this back in around early January, there's only a couple people infected. And within a couple days, there's an update that there was around 80 people infected. And then I remember reading a couple of days later, maybe I think it was like 2 or 3 days later, it went from a couple people infected to 180 people infected, okay? And that's when people started saying, it's not contagious, it's contagious, it's pretty contagious, okay? So there was 180 people that were infected, and I kid you not, within 24 hours, read the news, there's an update, and it went from 180 people to 300 people that were infected, okay? So that number almost doubled in 24 hours. 3 days later, around 500 people infected. 4 days later, 800 people were infected. At that time, I think they said there was around like 30 people that died from this. That's when they started coming out saying to be extremely cautious, wear a face mask when you go outside, carry a bottle of hand sanitizer on you constantly clean your hands because this thing is highly contagious, whatever it is. And one of the reasons why this virus has spread so rapidly is the timing of it. So it came out right before Spring Festival. For those of you who don't know, Spring Festival is a big holiday in China. This is when everyone is off of work, off of school, and this is also when everyone travels. Okay, so in China, the majority of the population that are in the smaller cities and towns, they go to the bigger cities for work purposes, and during Spring Festival, everyone goes back to their hometown, right? And this is why I say the timing of this virus outbreak is the biggest issue as to is why it spreads so fast, is because so Spring Festival comes, everybody is ready to travel. Everyone either goes back home to visit their family and friends, or they go back, they meet up with their families and go out and travel somewhere else outside of China, right? And the biggest factor with this is that this virus has an incubation period of 14 days, right? So you can have the virus in your system and you won't know anything about it. You won't show any signs or symptoms for 14 days, and then after the incubation period is up, that's when you start getting a fever, and that's when you start really going downhill. So the thing is, in Wuhan, there's God knows how many people were infected at the time. They had the virus, they didn't even know. They go home, see their families, so virus goes from one person, and all of a sudden your whole family is infected. They don't know, they go see their friends and relatives, or extended family members, they spread it to those people, and that's why the number of people that were infected increased substantially almost every day. And right before it became a really big concern with the government and the whole world, people that had the virus, they were free to go anywhere they want, right? So people were traveling to South Korea, Japan, Vietnam, States, all these places, and no one knew they had the coronavirus, right? They go on a board a plane, God knows how many hundreds of people are on each plane. So they go on the plane, they don't know that they have a virus, so they're most likely not wearing a face mask. They're not really worried about anything, so they might have a cough or a sneeze here and there. And then everyone on the plane gets in contact with this virus, you know. Again, they don't know that they have it. As soon as they land at their final destination outside of China, they go see other people, those people get infected, and bam. It just keeps spreading and spreading, and now look at what's happened. Pretty much every country has stopped allowing Chinese citizens from entering, and China is now on lockdown. So now I'm stuck in Sichuan for God knows however long. So right now there is no known cure or vaccination available for this virus, and who knows when they're going to come up with some sort of vaccine for this, or you know, some reliable treatment option. So right now you have X amount of people that are infected, they're in the hospital. I don't know what kind of treatment the hospitals are giving them in China or even outside. So they're stuck with the virus, right? They're not getting any better. The only thing that they can do is potentially infect other people. And the first people in line to get infected are the doctors. I'll show you guys a clip right here. This is how the doctors are dressed up. Doctors and nurses in the hospitals, right? It's like almost like a full hazmat suit. You know, they're covered from head to toe. They're working like non-stop. There have been a lot of doctors that have like passed out in the hospital, like in the middle of treating someone, just because they're so exhausted, right? You gotta think they're covered head to toe in protective gear. They're just working and working, maybe like 12, 16 hours a day, non-stop, and eventually, you know, their body's not give out. From what I understand, they don't even really go to the bathroom. They have to wear diapers. I can't imagine what they're going through right now. You know, they're at the hospital, they're being exposed to this potentially deadly virus, and you know, their whole family is at home worrying about them. It's Chinese New Year, it's Spring Festival. Everyone should be with their families celebrating right now, but instead, 2020, everyone is at home, stuck at home, scared to go out because the government has announced for everyone to stay inside. Don't go out unless absolutely necessary, and when you do go out, make sure you wear protective gear. And so me personally, I haven't been out of this house or condo in 3 weeks. Okay, and in this time, you know, I haven't taken out the trash either. I'm probably gonna go outside and get that stuff taken care of maybe tomorrow. Luckily, in the city that I'm in right now, there has been 0 cases of the coronavirus. There are 5 reported cases in the next town over, which is half an hour away, so that's kind of scary. It's getting really close. So I'm in Sichuan, and anyone who comes to Sichuan, you're gonna have to first land in Chengdu for the most part. That's where like the major airport is, and then when you land in Chengdu, that's when you spread out, go wherever it is that you're going in Sichuan. About 2 weeks ago, there was a case in Chengdu, and that's about a 2-hour drive away from you. So I'm just like, okay, cool. It's getting a little close because Wuhan is hours away, by plane that is, and then you hear there's a case 2 hours away from you, and you're just like, oh, okay, it's here. It's in this whole it's within this province now. A week later, bam, there's a case in Ya'an. Ya'an is half an hour away. It's a half an hour drive away from me, and that's it's getting really close. I'm hoping that the efforts by the government and the hospitals and doctors, police around here, I hope that they successfully contain and manage the areas that are infected and don't let it spread anymore, but who knows, right? The government has recently implemented a lockdown in pretty much all of China, so wherever you are, whichever province you are in or city, you cannot leave or enter. You can't take a plane, and you go to the airport, it's all shut down. There's guards blocking the door so you can't get in. Train stations, same thing. High-speed rail, same thing. Ferries, also you can't go anywhere right now. It's literally like Resident Evil, real life Resident Evil. I'm just waiting for these people to morph into zombies. Crazy story. There was a doctors, as you just saw, they were in full hazmat suits. There was one doctor who had everything covered. He had his medical gloves on, he had his hazmat suit on, he had his face mask on. Everything was pretty much protected. The only thing he didn't have on was a face shield to like protect his eyes. And guess what? That doctor got infected. This happened early on when they still believed that, you know, if you wear a mask, you'll be fine. Doctor got infected through the eyes, and sucks for him, but you know, everyone is on high alert now. Whew, I'm getting a little bit parched. There was a case where it was a father and a son. Son is over in Vietnam working, and Spring Festival is here. Holidays, right? Dad, I think he was from Wuhan or one of the neighboring cities, and he had the virus. He didn't know. He went to go visit his son in Vietnam so that they could go vacationing. Guess what? The dad infected his son without knowing it, and then they go out traveling, and more people are infected. And some of the people here in China are actually going crazy with this virus. Another way that it's spread, obviously from people to people, but there are actually people that are infected with this virus, and they're going around spitting and coughing on random people. They made it their goal to infect as many people as they can by spitting and coughing on random people, which is crazy. Like, I don't understand people sometimes, and like this is one of those cases where it's just like what is going on. It's not just like one or two people, it's like multiple, like crowds of people. These people are saying that, well, I have the virus, I'm probably gonna die, and I'm not gonna die alone, so I'm gonna take you with me. The other big issue is that as soon as this virus was made public, pretty much everyone went and just like stockpiled on face masks and alcohol-based hand sprays, which makes sense. The problem is that no one saw this coming, right? So all the pharmacies, they don't really keep a high stock of face masks and hand sanitizer as it is. There's 1.4 billion people in China, okay? As soon as this virus was made public, everyone went and bought up all the face masks, right? So now there's a shortage of face masks, and perfect timing. Everyone's on holiday. So all the face masks that were bought, there's no restocking. Shipping couriers, they're pretty much all shut down, so there's no shipping. You go to a pharmacy to buy some face masks, they're all out. Okay, so next best option is to go online and order online. You go online and everyone's on back order because the factories that make these masks, they're on holidays. There's also no shipping at the current moment, so you're screwed. So if you didn't get your masks or hand sanitizers ahead of time, you're pretty much like me, you're screwed. So I think I made this video long enough. I'm gonna try and make a new video every other day to every other day, just documenting what exactly life is like right now, where I'm at in Sichuan, China, with this whole virus outbreak and with the whole country on lockdown. So if you want to see more, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up. Alright, so I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.